time, we would like to welcome all of our distinguished guests, former division commanders, former division command sergeant majors, and others to today's performance. The mission of the 82nd Airborne Division is to strategically deploy within 18 hours of notification, conduct a forcible entry parachute assault, and secure key objectives for follow-on combat operations in support of U.S. national interests. Today, the 82nd Airborne Division is pleased to show you how our paratroopers are employed and what support they receive once on the ground. You will see the awesome firepower and lethality of the division and our partners across the joint force as we execute a joint forceful entry operation. Our paratroopers will show you their various types of weapons and equipment and how they carry this equipment into combat. You will also see equipment that is unique to paratroopers, the sequence of events and jump commands inside the aircraft, a demonstration of how the parachute deploys, an actual airfield Caesar, which includes pre-assault fires by F-15E Strike Eagles from your United States Air Force's 4th Fighter Wing, and an airborne assault to seize the compound to your front.
Nice.
At this time, aircraft are making their way to the drop zone to begin their parachute assault,
Usually
to include the paratroopers who will conduct the airborne assault. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to Sergeant Joshua Arbach from the U.S. Army Advanced Airborne School as he will lead the mock door and parachute pull-off demonstration.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sergeant Arbach with the United States Army Advanced Airborne School. As we speak, the personnel aircraft are en route to the drop zone, flying a low-level route to evade enemy radar. Let's take a look at the actions taking place inside of the aircraft as it approaches the drop zone. The mock doors that will be in front of you will simulate Air Force aircraft as they make their approach to the drop zone. Paratroopers who have undergone rigorous advanced airborne training are designated as jump masters. Jump masters have full command, authority, and responsibility of all Army personnel and equipment on board the aircraft. The jump master is responsible for ensuring that each and every jumper is both physically and mentally prepared to make a safe exit from the aircraft. Prior to loading the aircraft, the jump master will conduct a thorough inspection of all equipment to ensure that it is properly rigged, serviceable, and then loaded. The paratrooper known as the safety is jump master qualified and assists the jump master in ensuring that each jumper makes a safe exit. During training, the jump master will be the last paratrooper to exit the aircraft. This is a safety requirement which allows the jump master to maintain proper jumper interval as the jumpers exit the aircraft.
And land on the trees.
During combat, the jump master will exit whenever required in accordance with the ground tactical plan. Approximately 10 minutes from the drop zone, the pilot will illuminate the red jump caution light, which is located on the side of the parachute door, visible to the jump masters. The illumination of the red jump caution light will notify the jump master to begin their jump command. Once the jump master sees the red jump caution light, they will stand and face towards the jumpers and sound off with their 10-minute time warning. Due to the noise inside of the aircraft, the jump master will signal their jump commands with a hand and arm signal, and the jumpers will echo the command to confirm their receipt. The 10-minute time warning will look and sound like this. The first jump command is get ready. This is the jump command that notifies the jumpers that the remaining jump commands will follow. It will look and sound like this. Get ready! Get ready! The next jump command is outboard personnel stand up, followed by inboard personnel stand up. Jumpers will stand, raise and secure the aircraft seats, and then face towards the rear of the aircraft. It will look and sound like this. Outboard personnel stand up. Outboard personnel stand up. Inboard personnel stand up. Inboard personnel stand up. The next jump command is hook up. Each jumper will hook their own universal static line snap hook up to one of the 4 anchor line cables inside the aircraft, ensuring that their spring opening gate is facing the skin of the aircraft, and they will secure their universal static line modified with their inboard hand. It will look and sound like this. Hook up! Hook up! The next jump command is check static lines, followed by the supplementary command of last 2 jumpers turn towards the skin of the aircraft. Second to last jumper, check the last jumper static line. Each jumper will inspect their own universal static line modified, as well as the universal static line modified of the jumper in front of them. The last 2 jumpers in each stick will face towards the skin of the aircraft, and the second to last jumper will then inspect the universal static line modified of the last jumper. It will look and sound like this. Check static line.
Check, static, line.
After you jump, return towards the skin of the aircraft. Second line, second line, second line.
The next jump command is check equipment. Each jumper will inspect their equipment from top to bottom to ensure it is serviceable and properly attached. It will look and sound like this.
Check equipment.
Check, equipment.
The next jump command is sound off for equipment check. The last jumper in each stick or line of jumpers will tap the jumper in front of them and sound off with OK. Once the count reaches the number 1 jumper, it will indicate to the jump master and sound off with all OK jump master. The jump master will acknowledge and then turn and face towards the rear portion of the aircraft. It will look and sound like this.
Sound off for the check.
Stand up with the check. All okay, jump master.
Approximately 3 minutes from the drop zone, the parachute doors will be opened and the jump master will begin their parachute door checks. At this time, the jump master will rotate into the parachute door and begin inspecting the parachute door for any hazards to the jumper. Once the jump master has completed their parachute door checks, they will conduct an initial clear to the rear, in which case they will lean outside of the aircraft and inspect the outside of the aircraft as well as the ground below for any hazards to the jumper. They'll also do this to confirm the drop zone location. The jump master will then lean back inside of the aircraft and begin looking for their reference points. Once the 1 minute reference point has been identified, the jump master will issue their 1 minute time warning. The jump master will then look for their 30-second time reference point. Once the reference point has been spotted, the jump master will issue their 30-second time warning. The jump master will then conduct their final clear to the rear, once again leaning outside of the aircraft, inspecting the aircraft and ground below for any hazards to the jumpers. The jump master will then rotate back inside of the aircraft and sound off with the jump command of stand by. It will look and sound like this.
Stand by.
The number 1 jumper will pass off their universal static line modified to the safety and rotate into the parachute door. This time, once the computed air release point has been reached, the pilot will turn on the green jump caution light. Once the green jump caution light has been illuminated, that is the cue for the jump master to give their command to go. On the command to go, the number 1 jumper will go into their first point of performance, which is proper exit, check, body position, and count. The jumper will exit the aircraft and maintain a good tight body position, and it will count to 6 seconds by counting to 6,000. It will look and sound like this.
Yeah, whatever happened to 4 seconds?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we receive a pull-off demonstration
Yeah.
so that you become familiar with the opening sequence of the T-11 main parachute. The weight of the jumper's body falling free from the aircraft will deploy the jumper's universal static line modified down to the main curved pin. On the jumper's count of 1,000, the main curved pin will be removed from the main closing loop and the deployment bag will emerge from the pack tray, extending the risers to their fullest length. On the jumper's count of 2,000, the connection link ties will break and the suspension lines will begin to deploy from the suspension line stow loops. Once the suspension lines have been deployed from the suspension line lock and stow loops, the deployment sleeve will emerge, followed by the drogue parachute. On the jumper's count of 3,000, the drogue parachute will inflate and begin pulling the deployment sleeve off of the main canopy. On the jumper's count of 4,000, the canopy will begin to inflate from the apex to the skirt. On the jumper's count of 5,000, the slider will be fully extended by the tension of the suspension lines, and on the jumper's count of 6,000, the slider will begin moving down the suspension lines, removing all twists until it rests approximately 1 meter above the jumper's head, thus completing the opening sequence of the T-11 main parachute. The jumper will then go into the remaining points of performance, keeping their canopy a thorough inspection, and maintaining a good 25-foot distance between them and other jumpers. The jumper will then conduct a proper parachute landing fall once making contact with the ground. It will then activate both canopy release assemblies to recover from the drag. The jumper will then place their weapon into operation and remove themselves from the parachute harness. The jumper would then secure all of their equipment and move out to their assembly area.
And they start being shot. Remember that one?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Let's have a big hand for my demonstration.
All-American 3, this is Hard Rock Flight 2. Conditions of the DZ are set. Winds are within tolerance. Recommend go for airdrop. Hard Rock 5-2, this is All-American 3. Acknowledge all. Airdrop is a go.
Set the conditions for the success of the airborne operation. Pre-assault fires are conducted prior to the airborne assault to destroy key enemy targets, such as air defense positions, command and control elements, and maneuver units. Spectators are advised that today's close air support demonstration and assault fires will include realistic simulations of explosions and cannon fire. Please take appropriate actions with small children or those who are adversely affected by loud noises. A few miles north of our location, United States Air Force fighters are orbiting ready to provide close air support to the airborne commander. The F-15 Strike Eagle is a dual-role fighter designed to perform air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. An array of avionics and electronic systems gives the F-15E the capability to fight at low altitude, day or night, and in all weather. The aircraft uses 2 crew members, a pilot, and a weapons system officer, and has the capability to fight its way to a target over long ranges, destroy enemy ground positions, and fight its way out. During the air-to-service weapon delivery, the pilot is capable of detecting, targeting, and engaging air-to-air targets, while the weapons officer designates the ground target. For air-to-ground missions, the F-15E can carry most weapons in the Air Force inventory up to 29,500 pounds of ordnance. The E model also has an internally mounted 20mm gun that can carry up to 500 rounds to support the ground force commander. Most recently, the F-15E has provided close air support to ground forces in Operation Inherent Resolve. The F-15s today come to us with the 336th Fighter Squadron, 4th Operations Group, out of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, North Carolina. At this time, an Air Force Joint Terminal Attack Controller, or JTAC, from the 14th Air Support Operations Squadron, call sign Hard Rock 52, will pass a 9-line close air support request to the flight lead of 2x15E fighter aircraft to facilitate the execution of pre-assault fire.
Unit 4-1, this is Hard Rock 52.
It's a new UAV.
Hard Rock 52, this is Unit 4-1, send 9-line when ready.
9-line is as follows. Game plan is to neutralize targets by straight. Looking for a Type 2 bomb on target. Lanes 1, 2, and 3, and 8. Elevation 2, 7, 5 feet. 3 by enemy fighting position. In the open. Grid 1, 7, Sierra. Papa, uniform 6, 9, 5, 2, 9, 1, 4, 3. No mark. Friendlies are west 400 meters. Egress south, then return to the north. Stay when ready for march restriction.
Send for march restriction.
Looking for a final attack heading of north to south. With sheer cover. Sentry back to naval.
Unit 4-1, copy. Elevation 275 feet.
Any minute. It's gonna line up, baby.
Bobby uniform 6, 9, 5, 2, 9.
This kind of reminds me of the old K-Pax.
Final attack heading north to south.
Good readback.
Band-Aid?
Mark
Gotta repair
off.
it.
This is Unit 4-1. I am telling target. East north. Unit 4-1, this is Hard Rock 52.
Still doing it?
Cleared on.
Age that people would bring their child to me, and I think that's where he just complains about everything being too loud.
There we go. From a distance.
See your
smoke ring there, buddy. Look at that smoke ring. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah.
The 60-second airlift ring at Joint Base Loose McCord performed 2 airborne assaults on Sicily drop zone. The aircraft carrying paratroopers are approximately 3 minutes out. The jump masters and troopers are making their final preparations in order to exit the aircraft, as we have just demonstrated. The entire assault is the culmination of preparations that began at 6 o'clock this morning for the individual paratrooper. All troopers had to draw their assigned combat equipment and properly rig it. Unit jump masters conducted initial inspections, and units conducted their manifests. Once the final manifests are called, the jumpers fall under control of the aircraft's respective jump masters conduct pre-jump training, ensuring all contingencies both in the aircraft during flight and during the troopers' descent were reinforced. The continuous rehearsal of these events ensures that the troopers are prepared to take necessary actions for a variety of situations. To your left, you will soon be able to see a C-17 aircraft approaching the drop zone. It is one of the 7 C-17s that will be dropping nearly 1,000 paratroopers today. The aircraft is flying in their offset drill formations. This allows them to maintain 2,200 feet of separation and wingtip clearance to stay at the turbulence produced by the lead aircraft. The Air Force routinely practices large formation flights of this type to deliver a large number of paratroopers to the drop zone at one time.
Right there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, they're right at it. That's good stuff.
The other one too, right there. Oh, look. One of them now.
Man Sergeant Major Michael Brucey of Watertown, New York.
That's good stuff right there.
Homestead, Florida. Man Sergeant Major Brian Otero.
Oh yeah, yeah.
5 miles. Still putting them out. Colonel Pat Clark of Michigan. Man Sergeant Major Randolph Bell of Miami, Florida.
You can do that on 60.
Out of the 2nd C-17, the executive deputy.
They're still coming out.
Brigadier Oliver King is the first jumper.
Unreal.
The next jumper is Brigade Commander, Brigade Command Sergeant Major from the 3rd Brigade Combat Team. Bragg, Georgia. Command Sergeant Major Reese Keeball, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Following behind them are the Brigade Commander, Brigade Command Sergeant Major from the Division Artillery, Colonel Joseph Hilbert from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Command Sergeant Major Cameron Dinger from Marietta, Georgia. Up next are the Brigade Commander, Brigade Command Sergeant Major from the Executive Airborne Division, Statement Brigade, Colonel John Beal from Missouri, Command Sergeant Major Roberto Perez from Woodland, California. The remaining aircraft contain
That was me, man. 3 miles away. All my cherries. The sun came out. They brought the sun with them.
Sun's actually trying to come out.
Yep, we got him. I got it's clear over to here with what I'm filming. So
Yeah.
I'm getting everything.
I'm just saying there it was.
Yeah. Hope one gets under the clouds, but I don't know. It's so freaking low. Yeah, they're gonna come right out of the clouds again. Dang it. Sucks. Yeah. There we go. You can see some door exits. Nice.
Yeah, they're doing door jumps.
Yep. I think they're coming out pretty nice.
Yeah.
Pretty smooth.
Can't even see the picture.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Sun's so bright.
Yeah, I didn't see any equipment.
I haven't seen a rock of that.
I was going to say, I neither. Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice count. I take it these shoots are a lot more steerable too, it looks like. Yeah. Uh-oh.
These guys are hitting.
Yeah, they are.
Because I was yelling, that's all you can yell, because at that point you can't do anything about it.
He lost his air for a minute there.
That's just somebody that you're saying, I'm like, I know that.
Yeah, look, he hit a third.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you continue looking to your left, 2 more C-17 Globemaster 3s will make another pass in approximately 2 minutes.
We'll get him anyway. $175.
Right there.
We're almost 10. They're too close to comfort.
We're awful close. The thing is, why is that playing this? You think that wouldn't be a problem?
Yeah, he's robbing his head. He's robbing his head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You see that one coming. 7, 8, 9, 10.
That guy. Look at that. Here it goes.
Nice. Good job. Good job. Well trained. Be a rough landing, but he saved his life right there.
Amazing job.
Nope.
No hit. Look at that hit. Look at that hit right here. This is another reserve. 2 was reserve. No reserve.
He's got full canopy though.
He's taking his time coming down now. He's got 2 full.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
For the next 217s, make their approach to the Sicily drop zone. There's a 15-minute flight due to weather consideration. Please enjoy the All-American Band in the interim. Thank you. Commanders also make final assessments of their objectives and the enemy situation prior to the assault. This is to verify or update the intelligence on which the assault plan was based. If significant changes in the situation become apparent, the assault is rapidly adjusted and executed. The small structure to your front is the objective building and is representative of what would be a much larger complex of buildings on a small airfield. Flight operations and air traffic control buildings are the key facilities to be seized and used for friendly operations on the airfield. Task Force Fury must destroy the enemy, clear the buildings, assess the damage to runways, and complete all repairs prior to receiving friendly follow-on aircraft. The enemy may have placed mines and booby traps on the runway and in key facilities. The helicopter's primary roles include, but are not limited to, troop movement, artillery placement, and battlefield resupply. It has a wide loading ramp at the rear of the fuselage and 3 external cargo hooks. With a top speed of 170 knots or 196 miles per hour, the CH-47 is one of the fastest helicopters in the U.S. inventory and is one of the heaviest lifting Western helicopters. Its name is from the Native American Chinook people. These aircraft weigh up to 50,000 pounds and can carry 33 to 55 troops or 25 litters, 3 attendants, or 21,000 pounds of cargo. Under each aircraft, you'll see an M119A3 howitzer sling loaded. These M119A3s, manned by Bravo Battery, 2nd Battalion of 319th Airborne Field Artillery Regiment, are technically advanced additional 105mm howitzers, the ability to fire a variety of shells that are capable of engaging targets up to 30 kilometers or 18 miles. Using both forward and aft cargo hooks, the CH-47 can carry up to 25,000 pounds. The M119A3 howitzer weighs 4,700 pounds, so the cannon is a relatively light load for this heavy lifting aircraft. But when in place, the M119A3 howitzer plays a pivotal role supporting the task force's objectives. While these particular howitzers and crews are arrived here via rotary wing airlift, the M119A3 can also be delivered to the objective by parachute or rapidly landed aircraft. The M119A3 provides the airborne commander with the command capability of medium-range, GPS-guided, 105mm munitions in support of mission objectives.
There you go. There goes straight out and back.
Yep.
Yep.
All you hear is go, go, go.
They're
showing off.
As a direct and indirect fire weapon system to prevent team assault from completing the mission. The The artillery fires that you will momentarily see and hear are conducted to neutralize enemy detected in the immediate area and up to 14 kilometers away. The M119A3 howitzer is a fully digital towed 105mm howitzer. Team Fires typically delivers 2 of these systems with their prime mover Humvee, ammunition, and issue items via heavy paradrop. Airborne artillerymen immediately fight their way to these platforms, de-rig, and put into operation these guns within 25 minutes under night conditions in order to provide fire support to the assaulting forces. At this time, the Fire Direction Center Bravo Battery, 1st Battalion, 319th Airborne Field Artillery Regiment, will receive a call for fire from assaulting forces to facilitate the immediate attack of targets with M119A3 outside the drop zone.
Target that.
Cannonball 9-5. Fire for effect, over.
Boom, boom, boom.
Fire for effect out. Grid 17 Sierra, copy uniform 6771 8633, altitude 100, direction 3320, over. Grid 17 Sierra, copy uniform 6771 8633, altitude 100, direction 3320, out. Light Infantry Company in the open, ATPD, over. Light Infantry Company in the open, ATPD, out. Mike Tango Oscar, Bulls, 1-4 rounds, target number Alpha Bravo 0504, over. Mike Tango Oscar, Bulls, 1-4 rounds, target number Alpha Bravo 0504, out. Shot over. Shot out.
That's the big gun. There's nothing better anymore.
Flash over. Flash out.
Water can do 30 rounds first 3 minutes, 10 rounds after that. Well, it depends on what drop zone they're shooting. Getting all kind of pokey bait. You're a man. So we have an entrepreneur among us. I'm going to come back with 15 beers next time.
You learn quick.
Thanks, all right.
Thank you.
Appetite express. Oh, man. Look at that. Look at that.
Awesome, dude. Thank you, man. You're awesome.
Round complete, over. Round complete, out. Into mission, target number Alpha Bravo 0504, estimated 20 casualties, over. Into mission, target number Alpha Bravo 0504, estimated 20 casualties, out. Blue Wolf, Cannonball 95, fire mission, request Hellfire rocket. My position marked by DS-17, target location, north of single-story building, 2 mile west. Danger close, commander's initials are Juliet Hotel. Cannonball 95, roll 7% Hotel rocket, visual in your position, counting target point. Danger close, your initials, Juliet Hotel, inbound, 50 seconds. Blue Wolf, Cannonball 95, inbound, 15 seconds.
How you taking it, sir? Rolling down the road.
Cannonball 95, roll 7, danger close, 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, to your left, you'll see 2 AH-64 Apaches making their final approach for a gun run on the objective to your front. The purpose of this airstrike is to prep the objective for the infantry assault that will follow immediately afterwards. This run will simulate 2.75-inch rocket strikes on the target. We would like to reiterate to take appropriate actions with any small children or others affected by loud noises.
My safe's clean.
I got a couple years. I need my wording.
I got the 8 tails.
2-4, begin movement to support by fire location, over.
There's airplane. That's it. There's an airplane up there. That is an airplane. They're going to land. These jumpers are going. Yeah. Rat patrol. Yeah, it's going to come up here and charge the building. When you support my fire, go out with a charge. The whole building's going to explode. From the third floor.
With the isolation of the objective established, now seems to be an assault force arriving with 4 embracers. Notice the speed at which they can close the distance from the enemy. The assault force rapidly dismounts and gains tactical dispersion with concealment of smoke. The assault element begins moving closer to the building using a movement technique called bounding overwatch. This technique is part of a battle drill paratroopers use to maintain maximum pressure on the enemy with their indirect fire while minimizing their own vulnerability to hostile fire. Airfield sees commands with flexible plans and forces may not land precisely where they expected, and the enemy may not be positioned the way intelligence portrayed. It is here that the initiative of the American paratroopers, today, as in the past, becomes a crucial element on the battlefield. Paratroopers before you execute a series of well-rehearsed drills that can be applied on any terrain against a myriad of threat scenarios. They are prepared to succeed against an unknown enemy situation through their training, initiative, and leadership. As the assault element prepares to enter the building, combat engineers from the 307th Airborne Engineer Battalion place a flex linear explosive charge on the door of the building to explosively breach the door. Once the door is breached, a 4-man assault team will clear the building of any hostile forces and immediately transition to search for any material of intelligence value to support the broader mission.
Alpha 6, this is 2-6. Objective Spurs is clear. 2 enemy KIA, 1 laptop recovered. Over. 2-6, Alpha 6, acknowledge 2 enemy KIA, 1 laptop recovered. Great. ISR assets report enemy activity to your north. Conduct movement to contact and be prepared to receive information en route. Alpha 6, 2-6, Roger. Moving to contact to my north. Request permission to destroy objective Spurs. Over. 2-6, Alpha 6, Roger. Execute.
The commander has just informed his platoon leader that the enemy is massing a counterattack to the north. The platoon leader will quickly retrograde from the objective and prepare to move north to respond. The engineers are now inside the building and placing explosive charges against load-bearing beams. These charges will destroy the building and ensure the enemy cannot use this site in the future. As the engineers place the charges, the platoon leader is ensuring security remains established, is accounting for all his paratroopers, and is developing a hasty plan for their movement to contact mission to the north. This type of agile flexibility to react to the situation as it develops is a hallmark of the American paratroopers ethos. Enabled by the Embracer, this single platoon, among others operating within the airhead, are able to react to the situation with tremendous speed and agility, while integrating Army and joint fires to support their operation.
And boom.
Alpha 2-6, this is Alpha 2-6. All USF, all objective Spurs standing by to detonate. Over.
Uh-oh.
Say goodbye to the little house.
2-6, Alpha 6, detonate.
With the enemy objective destroyed, the platoon will be
smoke ring there, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the infantry company commander just received an operational update from his higher headquarters. Additional troops are being air assaulted in the AAW 60 to reinforce the operation.
It was huge.
The air assault element has departed the landing zone. Both howitzer systems will receive a call for fire to prosecute targets around the objective area to facilitate the safe exfiltration and cover the movement of Task Force Fury.
Loyalty 2-0, Cannonball 9-5, fire for effect, over. Fire for effect, out. Grid 17-0, top uniform, 6771. 8633, altitude 100, direction 3320, over. 3770, top uniform 6771, 8633, altitude 100, direction 3320, out. Light skin vehicle stationary in the open, over. Light skin vehicle stationary in the open, out.
Wait.
Fire, over.
Oh yeah,
there we go. That's good stuff right there.
Shut out.
Oh.
That's Iraq all over again right there, dude.
There you go.
Man.
Maybe it's not.
Gator 2-0, Cannonball 9-5.
I didn't see them all.
Starting number Alpha 1000, over. Intermission is starting number Alpha 1000, out.
Second battalion, 5th Parachute Instrument. 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Instrument. 5th Squadron, 7th Artillery, 1st Battalion, 319th Airborne Field Artillery Regiment. 2nd Battalion, 319th Airborne Field Artillery Regiment. And 3rd Battalion, 319th Airborne Field Artillery Regiment. The 82nd Combat Aviation Brigade, consisting of the 1st and 17th Cavalry Squadron. The 1st and 82nd Attack Reconnaissance Battalion, 2nd 82nd Assault and Helicopter Battalion, 3rd and the 82nd General Support Aviation Battalion, and the 122nd Aviation Support Battalion, and the 82nd Airborne Division Sustainment Brigade, consisting of the 189th Combat Service Support Battalion and the 82nd Special Troops Battalion. For the first time in many years, all the brigade and battalion colors are present for the All-American Week and the Airborne Review. We do, however, still have the Total 49th Composite Supply Company forward and deployed in 7 different locations in the Middle East, providing sustainment support operations to support Operation Inherent Resolve. Formed over 100 years ago at the start of World War I, the 82nd Division was initially an experiment. For the first time, a group of Americans came together from all over the country to fight as a single unit. Representing every state in the Union in the full spirit of the early 1900s, American experience, this new division was nicknamed the All-Americans. In the Great War's critical moments since Amiens and Moose are gone, when the fate of the world hung in the balance, the All-American soldiers stood tall. After the war, our soldiers re-entered American life. In 1919 to 1921, the division remained an active unit, and then in 1922, the 82nd was moved into the Army Reserves. In 1942, with the clouds of war once again gathering over our nation, the 82nd was mobilized and reorganized as America's first Airborne Division. In July of 1943, the division led the first large-scale airborne assault in American history. Operation Husky, the Allied invasion of Sicily, the first of 4 airborne assaults conducted by the 82nd in World War II. However, with the division spearheading the D-Day cross-channel assault with an airborne insertion into Normandy, France, on the night of June 5, 1944, that would make the 82nd Airborne Division renowned around the world. Following the surrender of Germany, the 82nd was ordered to select for occupation duty. There, General George Patton remarked on the high discipline of the division's honor guard. From this point on, the division became known as America's Guard of Honor. Although Patton never actually used these words, shortly after redeploying from the war, the division was permanently stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The division continued to serve the nation's preeminent military force during the Cold War. First, in April 1965, the All-Americans were alerted for action in response to the Civil War raging in the Dominican Republic. Spearheaded by the 3rd Brigade Combat Team, the 82nd deployed to the Caribbean for Operation Power Pack. 3 years later, the 82nd Airborne Division was called to the Vietnam War, with the 3rd Brigade serving nearly 22 months in the war following the 1968 Tet Offensive. Throughout the 1980s, the division was called on to deploy in response to crises in Grenada, Honduras, and Panama. In August of 1990, the 82nd became the vanguard of the largest deployment of American troops in Vietnam in Operation Desert Shield. The vehicle-mounted paratroops of the division participated in Operation Desert Storm in January 1991, moving deep into Iraq to deliver Kuwait. After 9/11, the division deployed many times to support the Cold War on terror. The 82nd fought hard in the streets of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan. 247 paratroopers laid down their lives in those countries. For the past 100 years, our paratroopers have consistently participated in the defining moments of world history. Since 1917, the United States has seen the Great Depression, social revolution, previously unimagined technological advancements, the digital age, and political turmoil. Throughout, the AA patch has remained a symbol of American military might. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Colonel Griffin, the 82nd Airborne Division's chaplain.
Would you join me in prayer? Almighty God, we have assembled today to witness the most lethal arsenal of weapons and warriors ever known to mankind. For over 100 years, the All-American Division has used its power, to destroy despots, dictators, and terrorists that have sought to destroy the freedoms of millions around the world. I pray that as your hand has guided our past, we might also be granted your favor for the future. May our weapons of war always be for a moral purpose, and may our warriors continue to trust in your strength and to seek your divine guidance and protection. Lord, help, I pray, that this capability of force and power be balanced with a humble dependence upon your grace and mercy to secure all future victories over the enemies of freedom and peace. God, prosper our cause, I pray, in your mighty name. Airborne all the way. Amen and amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as we honor our division of paratroopers, we would like to take a moment and recognize the All-American alumni in attendance today. If you look to the left of the reviewing stand, you will see veterans of the 82nd Airborne Division from World War II through the Global War on Terror. At this time, the formation of veterans, led by Mr. William Bauer, President of the 82nd Airborne Division Association, will pass and review in front of the grandstand and the division formation.
I don't think I can even film them right now.
You can't see them? I didn't know. I don't know. Over there on the other side, I thought I saw a bunch of black t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm just holding it up here and see if what we see. I don't know if I can tell.
Last year they were going in that direction.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the paratroopers that jumped on Sicily drop zone today will move forward to interact with veterans and today's guests. Also, the colors and guidelines here front will remain in position to allow All-American alumni and families to locate their units. Please feel free to move on to the drop zone and to view the displays to your rear. On behalf of Colonel Prilla and Command Sergeant Major Perusi and the entire 82nd Airborne Division, thank you for your attendance at All-American Week. The 82nd Airborne Division, America's Guard of Honor, remains at the knife's edge for our nation. Airborne, all the way.